Well, it's 7 o'clock
But when I remember I flew from Korea.
on Thursday, last Thursday. Hello, Micro Club.
Yeah, Tokyo, I bet you have. How you been? Well, I came from Seoul over to, I did that 2 R&R, so and that's only 9,000 feet, but then the guys in the back, the road man, it's a Dutch door, and they got the door like when they're just out, and I got to go up the ladder in the C-124. And then you go up the ladder and you look and you say, God, this guy's got a coffee pot on either side. And they got the cellar door that goes like this. And if one of them gets tired, you know, I go back there and lay down, you know. The other one takes on both sides. They have to have 2 flight engineers on each side.
Jerry's got
But
money.
he goes and jumps back and forth because they have 2 stations.
Okay. Thank you.
Jerry, did you get the newsletter? You got it, didn't you? You got the newsletter, right?
Yeah.
I thought I added you to the notifications. Even though this month's newsletter was pretty light.
Multitasking.
Jerry's
All
not
software.
ideal.
All software. That's what Alvin said. He said, it's all software. He said, oh, you wouldn't recognize the F-16, so we had, 10 years ago. He said, but he said, as far as changing things around, he says it's all software.
Get this main fact. I forget which switch it is. There's only 2 left on.
Wait a minute, how many quit?
So let's see that.
It's got 14 of them
Figure it
there.
out.
Yeah,
If they quit.
but there's a lot of redundancy.
Yeah, my son will get it.
No, that's right. Yeah.
But they quit with the fall like that.
That's the furthest one.
Why is Mike around? Where did you train?
Not
very good.
Oh.
Not loud enough?
Oh.
A lot of noise.
Oh, that's all the people talking.
Not that noise.
What do they call that, suction? Here's a guy that knows.
How about now?
Hey,
Do you take checks?
Oh, yeah,
How much are they for?
$25.
Okay, made out of micro.
Yep.
25?
Yep.
If you don't get enough
guess it
intake,
within a
you
month
got
or
that
two?
in commercial, you know.
Well, it'll be a couple of weeks, yeah, but I've got,
Okay.
If you don't get, it goes into shutter
Run your back collar.
compressor stall. yeah.
I'll hang it over here. So every time I put my arm in front of it, it'll lock it over.
I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battery may be getting weak.
That'd be one thing or another, they rub.
Are you guys
Oh,
ready
they
to get
do, they
started?
fix them up and they.
Hello?
They scrap.
Don, you ready to get started? Oh, you guys gonna jaw about something? Get you and Jim together, we'll never get started.
Just write something down there.
okay.
I heard about it, I just
Responsive.
had a light turnout tonight. I guess you guys knew who was presenting the, they just decided not to show up and get going. You ready?
What is the
You
what?
ready? Frank, you ready? I'm ready. Some people are having trouble hearing with all the chatter going on around the room. Probably like me. It's hard to hear. All right, we're gonna get started. First, a couple announcements before we get started. We're relocating the website to a different host over the next couple weeks, month, I don't know. We have to renew our domain registration in June, so our previous webmaster, John McMurtry, suggested we transfer over to somebody that's got more flexibility and more storage space than we're getting from NileNet. NileNet's been a really good partner with us. They've given us a free website hosting for, God, I don't know, 20 years almost, or 15 years, I don't know, a long time. So we're going to make sure we give them a big thanks. And also, we'll continue, advertising for them and continue partnering with them, let people know about them. So, but we're switching to one-on-one. And
I had a lot of trouble with one-on-one. That is the worst one. I'll tell you stories.
I'll tell you the opposite. My son does it for our church website, and he's never had a bit of trouble with it.
Well, I will give you some emails, and then
Everybody you work with, we'll see, you know. The main reason, we're just looking for larger storage space and some greater flexibility with the programming capabilities, so, you know, but it's, you know, we'll see how it works out. Current web host, you know, she's done a lot of different websites, and she's used one-on-one before, and she said, you know, she's never had any trouble with them, so we'll find out. Anyhow, that's where we're moving. If the website, if you try to get to it, and it's, you know, for a couple days, it's inaccessible, that's probably why, because it's just in the middle of the transition.
You would not believe how bad they are. That is the worst company in the United States of America.
Trust me.
No, I will show you some emails. They cursed at me on the phone.
Well, they might. I'm not, you get
No,
bad people. You get bad people sometimes. All I can say is,
That's the manager of customer service.
all I can say is the experience that I've talked to, the people said it's been fine, so. Anyhow.
Have they had any problem with them?
Well, yeah. No?
If you have a problem with them, they
Well,
don't take
yeah,
care
I
of
don't
them.
know, that's, you know, that might be,
I
we
mean,
just never had trouble.
yeah,
But we'll worry about that as it occurs. If they don't do a good job, we'll switch.
they won't let you switch. You
Oh, yeah,
wouldn't
they will.
believe.
Trust me.
No, they billed me and I couldn't get them. We got into a fight over $10.
That's the advantage of using PayPal. Then when they try to bill you again, you just cut off funds to PayPal and they can't get any money from you. You don't use a credit card. I mean, some personal people usually do. That's one of the reasons. But all I can say is, you know, we've had people say they've had good experiences. You're the first one I've had say they've had trouble. So, yes, Stan.
Why don't you turn that off? It's not doing any good. It's fighting you.
Okay.
We'd hear you better if it were off.
Yeah. I've been told I have a big mouth.
That too. That's better.
What's static use? Okay, yeah, I think it needs new batteries. I mean, the stuff, how old's that equipment? Because you gave it to the club 20 years, 25 years ago, I don't know. It's an old Radio Shack system.
Yeah.
Okay, the other announcement, sort of announcement, I guess, is just remember as we go into the summer season, in the fall, we elect officers again, so be thinking about, you know, if you don't like the current board members, and you want to put somebody else on the board, or do it yourself, be prepared to let us know. Okay?
Not so sure about that vice president.
The vice president, yeah, he's a slug.
Maybe we should nominate Mary.
Pardon?
Should we nominate?
No, don't do that to Mary, she'll hurt you. As it is, she gets asked to be the quote nominating committee every year, and she says, all right, everybody's there, Nell's nominated, see ya. Okay, tonight's presentation is going to be about Google Docs versus Windows Live Office. First question I have, has anybody here ever heard of Windows Live Office? Or who here has not heard of Windows Live Office? Other than what we've told you in the newsletter or whatever. How about anybody here not heard of Google Docs? Okay.
I just went into it since you sent me the newsletter.
Yeah. And a lot of people aren't aware of that they're out there. Probably everybody here is aware of a substitute for Microsoft Office, Open Office. Everybody's probably heard of that. And that runs on your computer, doesn't it? Google Docs and Microsoft's Live Office are web versions of some of the stuff you get with the Office packages. Not everything, and of course it's a reduced functionality. So we're going to talk about the two, and then we'll actually take a look at them live. So, let me launch my first boring PowerPoint here. I'm sorry, it's going to be exciting. Oh yeah, never mind. Problem when the last thing you worked with was your USB drive and then you disconnect it, the computer doesn't like to hunt for that document anymore. All right, where's the one I want? There it is. And I'll apologize for everything being off screen, but come on. Let me grab a hold of it. You gonna let me grab a hold of you?
Too many icons.
Well, I want to let me move. There we go. Do I get a hold of it eventually?
If it's 7, you just double click it.
I'm sorry?
If it's 7, you can just double click that.
What?
If it's, Windows 7, you can just double click the top bar and it will fill up.
Yeah, except I couldn't quite get past all the stupid
I understand.
command buttons, which is a limitation to everything these days. Yeah, let's see. F5, right? Yeah. I never use the keys to launch a PowerPoint presentation. I always use the mouse, and I'm not good at keys. Okay, Google Docs. What is it? It's free from Google. You know, pretty much everything Google does is free to the average person. And it allows you to go online, create documents, and you can actually share them with other people and collaborate with them. And I'm going to cover the basics tonight. I'm not going to get into the collaboration. I haven't used it. In reading about it, it seems like it would be something nice maybe if a group of people were working on some documents. It would make it easier than trying to buy expensive collaborative tools like Microsoft Office, because it's free. And the tools that come with Google Docs can change based on what Google wants to do that year or that month, because they can add more tools, they can alter the tools that are on there. Anytime you use any kind of online free application, you're sort of at the mercy of the company. They might decide to change the way the word processor works. So one day you log in and it looks totally different. But, you know, most of us can figure it out pretty quickly. So, why use it? Well, you know, you can get to your files anytime you can connect to the internet, because it's browser based. It works in your web browser. So you can just get there and do your thing. It even, in some situations, I'm not sure about Google Docs, I haven't found documentation on this, but I know that the Live Office package, you can get to that from a web-enabled cell phone. I think you might be able to do the Google Docs from an Android phone. Windows Docs works pretty well from Internet Explorer on a Windows phone. I've tried that and it does in fact work. If you can see the little tiny print on your phone, which, you know, some of us can't. Okay. You can track revisions with it. Now keep in mind, some of the information I give you, because of the way both Google and Microsoft make changes to these free programs, some things may be available when you're using it, and some things they may turn off and try to do something different. Every now and then you find that this feature that worked last month isn't working anymore because they've, quote, upgraded. So one of the things I've discovered just reading some comments on the internet, that has been a frustration for people who are trying to use it, you know, as a professional tool, because it can change without notice. Okay. You can publish documents so that people can view them on the internet. That's kind of another advantage to it. You don't have to like email it to people. You can give them a link to read the document. And you can also, anything on your hard drive, if you want, in the Google Documents storage system, you can upload into their system. It will, if you tell it to, it will attempt to convert the document. If you're uploading an Office document, it'll attempt to convert it to the Google Docs format. That's not always successful. I'll show you an example of that later. Basically, to use Google Docs, you've got to create a Google account. Gmail's free. Google, you know, go to the Google website, you can sign in and create a Google account. So there's really no reason not to do it. You don't have to do anything with it once you create it. They need some way to keep track of your credentials so you get to your stuff. Just like when you need a key to get into your house, I hope. Can't get in the neighbor's house, maybe not. Okay. You can, as the second thing notes here, you can view Google Documents if they've been published for everybody to see. And you don't need a Google account to do that, but if you want to edit documents, create documents, manage them, you do have to have a Google account. So basically, you go to docs.google.com once you've got your Gmail or Google account, and once you get there, you might want to take the tour to read about how it works and things like that. I found a few pretty good tutorials out on the internet, but not a lot. Google itself does a pretty good job of explaining it. Anybody here familiar with how Google sets up their help files and how their help system works? It's pretty simple, and it's actually better than most of the Microsoft help stuff that I've seen. Google does a pretty good job of explaining what they've got for you. Just keep in mind that because they do make changes from time to time, sometimes the help files are out of date compared to the product. So you're reading about something that's supposed to work a certain way and it doesn't because they've updated it and haven't changed the help file yet. But Microsoft does exactly the same thing. Okay, if you already have a Google account, you just simply sign in. If not, you create the account from the Docs page. You don't necessarily have to go to Google first. You can create it directly from the Docs page. And you have to confirm the creation of the account. In other words, when you set this up, it doesn't work until they have confirmed through another email address who you are. Like most email systems today, most free services, a lot of them, what they're doing is you sign up and they ask you for another email address, then they send you a confirmation email. And you confirm that you're a real human. And the reason they're doing that is to avoid, spammers and people who automatically set things up with robots. Okay. Once you get all your stuff set up, go on to Google Docs. You can get to Google Docs from the standard Google page by looking for the thing that says Documents. If it's not along the top, it will be underneath the thing that says More. Okay? And then when you scroll down to More, you'll find it. If you want to start a brand new document, you just click on New, and right now you can create a document, a spreadsheet, or a presentation. So they have functions similar to Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and PowerPoint. Or you can create a new folder. Now, I deliberately used this screen image. It says the word folder. They don't call it folder anymore. They've already changed that. I forget when this image was taken, but it wasn't very long ago. Now they've got a different system for naming. And if anybody's used Gmail, Gmail doesn't use folders. They're tags or labels. Yeah, labels. They call it it's a slightly different term, and I'll show that when I do the live demonstration. It's just like a folder. It's just Google's decided to do things differently than the rest of the world. Yes?
Labels' big advantage is you can have one document in 3 different labels.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You can't put one document in 3 different
Well,
folders.
you can, but then if you edit one, you've got 2 out of 10. Right.
So
and that's a
that
good
is
point.
the big plus.
Yeah, Dave's point is,
I can have it in the micro one,
right.
the David one, the Friends of something. So it's great for cross-referencing,
and
and it's still only
you
one
only edit
document.
one document, and it only takes up 1 space. And that's one of the reasons Google decided to do it. It saves space on their servers because they give you free storage. Okay.
How much free storage do you get with Docs?
1 gig. I just looked it up. It's 1 gig.
Okay.
Yeah,
And each additional gig is 25 cents.
yeah, if you want, Google Documents itself gives you 1 gig of storage. Gmail, of course, gives you 7 gigs of storage. Yes. So, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Because sometimes, 1 gig sounds like a lot till you got a lot of junk. And then 1 gig's nothing. But if you use it judiciously, you can probably live with it. Okay. Once you say you want to create a new document, it opens up a window that sort of looks like the beginning of Microsoft Word, or it looks like a word processor. I'm talking about documents right now. I'm not going to do the demo around a spreadsheet or the PowerPoint type of thing because that's a little bit more specialized. When you get ready to save your work, you can simply save it, and you have to tell it where to categorize it when you save it. The labels they call it. Again, here you'll notice you got some capabilities of exporting these documents in other formats. I'm not sure the exact extension format that Google uses for their files. I think it's a web-based format. I forget what they call it. But if you need to say you need to save your file as a Word file, you have that choice. You can export the file as Word and save it to your hard drive, and then email it to somebody, and if they have Word, they can read it.
Which Word format does it save it in?
Right now, I think it's 2007 version.
DOX, GCX?
DocX.
DocX?
No, I think it's 2003. It's DOC.
DOC?
I think it's still DOC.
DOC.
But you notice you also can do PDFs. You can do a text format, RTF, the OpenOffice format. You can do that too. If you have a file that you're working on, you want to rename it, you can rename it. You got basically the similar commands as you have with a program on your computer. It'll pop up a box where you fill it in, just like working on record things on your computer. And now let's talk about, suppose you're not creating a new document, you want to take something from this computer and upload it to your doc storage. You can do that because there's an upload button. And you will see, anybody here attached something to a webmail document? Like Yahoo Mail or something, you click attach, and then you have to search your hard drive for the file you want to attach, right? Yeah. Exactly the same thing. No problem, works transparently, and it's fairly quick. The difference is when you upload files to your Google Docs storage, if you have set Google to try to convert it to the Google format, if you upload a doc file, it's going to convert it to the Google document file. If you upload a PowerPoint file, it will attempt to change it to a PowerPoint or a Google presentation format. Now, as we go through the live presentation, that's not always transparent in that some things disappear, formatting disappears on you or changes on you. So I'll show you what happened in my presentation when I uploaded it to Google. It uploaded, but it changed it so it's not usable. Okay. Now, you just simply upload like you're doing a standard attachment. It sends it up to their servers. You can copy, paste, bold. You can do all the standard editing functions just like you're using Word in Google Documents. The edit menu, once you open the edit menu, you're going to see very similar functions to Word. You can insert like pictures, tables from a spreadsheet, things like that. Oops, sorry. And Google Doc has a spell check. I haven't tested to see how great it is, but it seems to be better than I spell. So.
A grammar check?
No, just as far as I know, it's just spelling. I haven't seen any evidence of grammar. And mine is usually atrocious, so it should be barking at mine all day long. Okay. Also, you can organize your folders or your storage, the labels, whatever you want to call them. Again, they used to call them folders. And once I do the live thing, you'll see that this month it's a different terminology. It's not labels either. It's something completely different. So, you can create new folders. And again, it just seems to be like you're working on your hard drive. It's just a little slow sometimes across the internet. If you have a slow internet connection, it's going to be slower. I would not recommend trying to use Google Docs with dial-up. It's probably not going to work.
Hank, do they have a local application if you're in an area with no internet connection?
As far as I know, at the moment, no. 2 years ago, I read that Google was, in fact, going to do local apps. I haven't seen anything yet, or recently, let me put it that way. They might have them out there. Now, I'm going to deliberately use Google Chrome browser instead of Internet Explorer to do the demo with Google Docs, and I'll tell you why. Google Chrome is developed by Google, so guess what? It works better for Google Docs than Internet Explorer.
Surprise.
Surprise! Yeah, surprise.
I love Google Chrome. Will you have any time to discuss Google Chrome tonight, or is that?
Other than to say that at the moment I'm becoming disenchanted with Google Chrome because of the way I use it.
Okay.
It didn't give me enough options, that's why I not do it.
Well, it also
It's so fast.
it uses tons of memory compared to Firefox and Internet Explorer even. It uses more memory because I run so many tabs. Okay. So, but that's just, you know, if I only ran 1 or 2 tabs, I wouldn't care. But I run 7 tabs all the time. So, all right, like I say, you'll notice along the top, we've got up here at the top, web images. I said that to get the documents, you may have to go to the More button. The example they had that was not that old, just a few months I think, had Google Documents up here, but now it's under the More. And I don't know if there's a way to force it to show up here or not. I've never investigated a way to customize my home page, if you will. All right. Stan, let me borrow your pointer.
Careful.
What is your pointer?
Push button's on the back, it's bright.
You got a small one? I just got a pointer right there. Oh, no. Okay. See over here,
It is bright, wow.
you don't see the word folder, do you?
No.
They now call them collections.
Oh.
I was thinking of the word container. File container.
Yeah. So, to work with folders, you have to think differently with Google. It's now called collections. And they've added some tools. Forms and drawings have been added. So you have documents, presentations, spreadsheets. You can build online forms for people to fill out. I haven't had any need for that. And you can do some online drawing, sort of like paint.
Do they have a drawing program?
Yeah, that's what this is.
Okay, although that's the program, not.
Well, it's part of the Google Docs package. Google Apps is probably a closer way to call it. So basically, when you store your stuff, you'll notice I've got my collections, I've got micro, and then I have what I would call a folder called presentations. You'll notice I'm in the home folder, and all my stuff shows. Because as David said, Google, you can have one thing, it shows up in 2 places. If I go to all items, that's all my documents. If I go down to presentations, I only have the 3 presentations I've uploaded. If I go back to micro, I have 2 folders. I have presentations and I have, well, it's a test document basically. All right, and then back to my collections, just micro, I go back to home and I see kind of everything all mishmashed together. It takes a while to get used to their structure, but it saves space because you don't store the same document 3 different times. You store one document. But remember, if you delete something from one location, you're deleting the real thing. Okay? So you have to be careful because some people thought, well, I have it in 2 folders, I can delete one of them. It's gone.
Well.
Okay, so let's start from scratch as far as like creating a brand new document. You come over here, you say create new, I want to do a document. Bang. You notice it opened a separate tab. I like that part of it. It doesn't stay in the same browser window, it jumps to a second tab. And I haven't tried to figure out if there's a way to control that and stay in one tab, but it's better to do it this way. Because then if you wanted to go back to your folders, you can simply go back to the other tab. You'll notice standard word processing, editing, got all the stuff you need. When you go to tools, you can translate a document, you can do the definitions of words, you can even do a word count, see how wordy you were. And then you can control the preferences for the document. Format is just a standard text formatting. You can create different paragraph styles. You can align your text. It's just a standard word processor, but it's not as robust as like Microsoft Word. It doesn't have all the extra stuff. You'll notice under Insert, if you had a drawing somewhere you've drawn, you can insert your drawing. Equations. There's an equation editor somewhere and you can insert equations. I forget where they hide the equation editor. But. So basically, and if you have a picture on your hard drive that you want to insert, that's what the image is for. You can also insert a URL, a link. Document views, you can changed the way it shows up on the screen. Compact kind of tries to show you everything at once. I'll try to show you what that looks like here. Oh, well, I can't because I don't have more than one page at the moment. So I need to stay with paginated. Oh, here it is. To do the equations, you have to turn the toolbar on to write equations. I don't do that, so I've never messed with it. You can even switch it to full screen if you want to read your document in full screen mode. Standard editing commands and regular old everyday file menu, except instead of having just a single save button that says save now, because you're saving it to the web. Okay? But you can print as long as you got a printer connected. I haven't tried it on my printer at home, but I've been told it works pretty well. You can insert tables, and of course you got help.
Can you save it to your own hard drive, the document?
Yeah, and I think it's been a while since I had to do that. Let me just type some gibberish here. So if I save it, you notice the save command disappeared on it.
But you can't save it as DOC or DOCX or .text. How do you, is that called export, not save?
As far as I know, that is an export function.
Okay.
And again, they have changed recently, they've changed the structure, which that's the part that drives me nuts, because you get used to looking at it. You know, last time I actually did a document up there was a couple months ago, well, about 6 months ago, and it's changed. I'm like, okay, now what? However, see the upload button? You can upload files from here. At first I thought that meant I can upload this document somewhere, but that means I can upload things from my hard drive from that command structure, which I haven't seen a reason for, but it's there.
But it would convert the files.
If you upload them. And I'm going to show you how that works here in a second too. So this document has been saved, and you'll notice if I type some more stuff and then go back to File, I have the Save option again, because it recognizes I've made changes and it makes the Save option. But you'll note, again, as David just mentioned, there's no Save As at this point. Okay? So let's say I'm done with that document, and I want to give it a title. See right here? This is where you got to title it. And I'm going to call it Test 1. Okay? Now here's the part that they changed that I don't like, because where am I going to store this at the moment? Which folder or which collection am I going to put it into? So I'm going to close the tab, and see there's my Test 1 right there. If I want to categorize it or store it in a specific folder, I have to do it after I've saved it. I can't do it while I'm saving it. So I can come over here, go to Actions, and let's see, it's trying to figure out where it is. And again, they've changed this recently too, which drives me nuts.
Organize sounds logical, but maybe not.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I missed it. So you go to Organize, and then you tell it where you want it to be. I want to put it in Presentations, let's say. So it's a checkbox. Okay. So it's still here, but it's also now in Presentations. Okay?
How can you delete it from there if you only want it in Presentations?
If I only want it, well, Home it has to stay in.
So everything's in Home?
As far as I can tell, yeah. That's, again,
Wow.
well, let me check and see, because,
Because you have other documents that aren't in Home.
yeah, let me test it. Because, again, they changed it recently. Yeah, see, I don't see a way to remove it from Home.
The
which
dumb way would be delete it, and you would have deleted it from
then
the
you
whole
delete it
system.
both places, yeah. So again, that's one thing when you're working online with their storage system, you can't treat it like file folders on your hard drive. Okay, because it will trip you up sometimes.
But the best part of it is if you change it, it's changed in every copy.
Oh yeah, it changes it everywhere you got it.
I have one document stored in 4 files, and I never can remember which is the current version.
Okay.
That's what's delightful about this.
Now let's say I want to upload a file from my hard drive to my document storage. So you simply go to upload. You also notice you can even upload an entire folder. I recommend you don't do that because remember you only got a gig of storage. So you might have more in the folder than you realize, because especially you have a bunch of pictures in there. So be careful with that. Also, before you upload, come down here to settings and see what's it's going to do. Right now, it's going to convert anything I upload to the doc format. You can also, if I upload PDFs or images, it'll try to convert the text in those images. In other words, it'll do an OCR. And then I'll always leave, I suggest you always leave that one checked. You always want it to confirm before it uploads what's going to happen. Otherwise, you're going to
Is
be...
there a way to tell it to upload it in the same format that it is? Is that?
You uncheck the convert.
Okay, so it's, you don't tell it to convert, it leaves it in the format.
That's what it's supposed to do, yes. So what I typically do, I set my settings so it's not going to convert, okay, unless I want it to. So now I go to upload, I'm going to upload a file, and let's see, let me find, I don't know, let me find something simple here. I got too much junk on my hard drive. Okay, here's a doc, the document. Standard Windows or Microsoft Word 2003 format. So I'm going to upload it. Remember I said not to convert it. It's still going to ask me. And even though I checked not convert, look at this. It's checked again. Now in this case I'm going to leave it checked because I actually want it to convert it. I
Can
know
you
it.
later put one not converted and see what it does?
Yeah, I can,
About that.
yeah, I can show you that.
As was.
So, if I say start upload, you'll notice right here, it's uploading. Takes a few seconds, you know, the connection's not super fast, but it's not too slow, not too bad. Eventually it'll get there. And don't close this window. Now, here's a problem. It tells you if something went wrong. So it had a problem.
But it's not very clear, the generic error.
Yeah. Well, but it says retry right here, which is kind of, I'm thinking, my clue. So I'm going to retry. I don't know why it didn't upload it. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm anywhere near the limit. I shouldn't be. And it doesn't tell you why it failed. Probably a connection problem, is my guess.
Oh, it's much clearer this time.
Yeah, still said it failed. I don't know why. Doesn't tell me why. I just don't know. I honestly have no idea why it failed.
Can you ask it how much of the memory you're using?
Let's see. I thought it was on the screen. Yeah, I don't see it.
I tried to put a publishing document up there that gave me the error thing also.
Sorry?
I put a publishing document up there and it gave me the error.
Yeah. It might be our connection because we're.
If you ask it to convert, it's going to give you an error because it don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, this time I'm going to try it without conversion and see if it's any different. Maybe they're having trouble with their conversion stuff.
In the last 2 weeks, big companies have been having so many problems, it's just amazing.
So I'm going to uncheck convert. Let's see how it handles this.
Conversion off. I love the percentage on the top, I didn't notice that the other time. I'm a number guy, not
Yeah.
a picture guy.
And we'll see if that works this time. Again, maybe the conversion engine on their end is not working right, I don't know. Maybe I've got a corrupted file. There you go. Okay, this time it uploaded. I don't know what happened the first time.
Yes,
Maybe it just couldn't convert it.
convert one thing that you had in there that was goofy.
Okay, so here's that document that I just uploaded right there. If I click on it to open it, it's gonna open it. No problem.
Okay. Now, I can ask a question here? Early on, you said something about when you upload or do something like this, that you're gonna get a format that you don't recognize. Now, you implied that you can't just change that format back? Or
Well,
is that
no,
not-
I don't know what format Google's using for their document format. I'm not familiar with it.
Oh,
But because it's not on your hard drive, it's probably doesn't matter because I'm not putting it on my hard drive.
because I get a lot of stuff like that. I change it around, maybe off of,
And again, you'll notice, even though this was a Word document file, it read it just fine.
yeah,
It
Right.
read it just fine.
not that, but I do.
The drawback that I see at this point, and again, trying to compare these things, you'll notice I'm viewing it, but can I edit it?
Yeah.
You
Or
look,
reformat.
there's no editing command.
No format
And I think that's because it's in the doc format, not Google's format.
So if you get something in Microsoft's format, you gotta convert it to Google's
To
before
edit
you
it.
can edit it.
Right, yeah. You can't edit native formats from OpenOffice or Word online, only the Google format, as far as I understand. So, again, that's just, it's to me, it's a frustration that they're always in flux. Google's always making little changes to things from 1 month, 1 year to the next. But if it's a place to store things, that's handy. If you have documents, like if I wanted to come, I came to the meeting tonight, I stored my presentations up here. So I could download them to the hard drive and run them if something went wrong. If I lost my copy, this thing just stays on when I don't want it to.
Loosen the cap.
Now, remember this document I created called test 1. You notice when I open it, I have all the standard editing controls because it's in Google format.
But it doesn't have an extension on it telling you what.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they use an extension. It might be XML. I don't know what they're using to do the transition. It's not a standard file format.
Format, giant.
And that makes sense because we're not going to put it on our computer. Now, that document I just uploaded, if you look through, you can make a Google Docs copy. So that's supposed to make a copy in the Google Docs format. And it's erroring again. So there's either something wrong with their engine that does the conversion, or maybe the file I tried to send up there, they don't like it for some reason. It's a standard doc format as far as I know. But again, you're going to run into these issues if you're trying to upload files from one format to another, that you may have problems getting it converted to the Google format. One way to avoid that, suppose you have a document that you want to edit in Google, on the Google Docs, cut and paste. You open it, cut and paste the text, and then paste it into a brand new Google Docs document. It's clumsy, but it'll work.
I do that all the time.
Okay. So, that's pretty much the basics of Google Docs themselves. Not much else to it, really. Next month, you may come in here and click on Create New, and they might add a new application. They might have a publisher, I don't know. Right now they don't, but just a few months ago they didn't have form and drawing. They've added that. Question?
I've got used to using
Sorry?
Notepad, to dump stuff in, those programs and different things. Can they handle a Notepad?
A text format?
Plain text format on?
You mean can I upload a text format to it
From Notepad and.
from my hard drive, a text format? I'm sure I can. Let me, I don't know if I got any text
I was
format.
just curious.
Here's a text format right here.
Okay.
So we'll upload it.
That should take it.
I will tell it to convert it. Let's see if let's hope this works.
I don't think that could work.
Okay, it did text with no problem. So it's having trouble with my doc format. Maybe I've got something corrupted in the file. That document had an image in it, maybe it can't handle the image.
Yeah, I couldn't pass an image.
Yeah, so it might be the image that's in it. So now I have that text article. I can open it, and there it is. I can edit it, the whole ball of wax. And it converted it to Google Docs format.
Your image probably didn't have a bra.
What's the limit between the micro and the S on the third from bottom? What's that character?
That's going to be a formatting error. It probably was a apostrophe,
Yeah.
and it didn't convert it properly. That's a big problem with web documents. They don't convert some symbols. Now you notice, now I can download this one. Here's the formats I can download in. ODT, that's an open office document, right? Template. PDF, RTF, text, and Word. I can download it to my hard drive in Word format. So once you get it converted into Docs, Google Docs format, then you can download into other formats back to your hard drive. So if you have, say you get a document that you need to convert to Microsoft Word and you don't have Word on your computer. So you have a text document and you have to send it to somebody. Of course, if they have Word, they can read text, but I'm using a ludicrous example. But sometimes, you might need to convert something, or suppose you want to convert to PDF and you don't have a PDF writer on your computer. This is a free way of doing PDF conversions. Make sense, more or less? Any questions on so forth? Okay. The one other thing about uploading, where we talked about PDFs. You can upload PDFs. Let me check and see how big this document is before I try to upload. Yeah, it's a meg. It'll be all right. Now I'm going to tell it to convert the text from PDF to Google. So let's see what happens.
Oh, this is gutsy. This is all.
So there it is. It's uploading it. It should try to convert it once it's uploaded, but it's uploading a PDF. And come on, you can do it.
What's the probability of it being better than 90% correct? Because you have to do OCR to do PDF.
Yeah, they're doing it online OCR.
Yeah, wow. This is gutsy.
But you notice it's finishing still. Still working. Oh, here's your storage space right here. It shows up when you have the upload dialog open. So I've got 4 megs. Now, as David said, this is kind of a risky thing because it's converting a PDF and it's basically doing an OCR scan of the text, and it did convert it. So it's done. So,
would you look at it and give us a quality control image?
well, that's what we're going to do. Here it is right here. We're going to see what it looks like. Some text and formatting may not have been recognized.
Looks pretty darn decent. I'm impressed.
Yeah, like here the formatting fell apart on the columns. Yeah. So it didn't do a great job on everything, but you got the general stuff. Put a space there, And this was a pretty good size. This was 1 meg document.
I'm impressed.
So it does a fair job. But again, it's not perfect. It's free.
But it's looking at a picture and converting that picture into
Exactly.
text.
It's
amazing.
it's OCRing a picture. So if you have something you need to convert, and you have no other way of doing it, this might be your shot. It's free. So give it a shot. Instead of buying a scanner and an OCR program, here you go. Okay? All right. Any other questions on Google Docs? Again, I'm just touching on the fundamentals. If you're interested in learning more about it, just go to Google and if you have a Gmail account, just go in here and play around. Have a good old time. Yes?
I see the advantage of being able to
Collaborate.
collaborate,
Yes.
my tongue covered by it, with people in different parts of the country. It's sort of,
Exactly.
I can see
Yeah.
the advantage of this particular thing, because it's rather slow.
Oh, before I leave, I want to show you what happened when I uploaded the PowerPoint presentations. So here's my presentation that I showed you earlier, right there. I'm going to show you what Google Docs did to it.
Did it convert it?
It converted it.
Oh, that's.
However, formatting, some things may not be properly formatted. The slides I used were gray background with white text. White background with white text.
Oh.
So,
Bitch.
yeah. Well, so if you're doing a PowerPoint presentation and uploading to Google Docs and having it converted, you're going to have some way of, you're going to have to do a test to see what it does to your document. Because don't assume you can upload it and go to your meeting and do a presentation. Because it may not be there.
You give them the 3D glasses so they can see the missing text?
Yeah, you see down here, the white's showing up in the areas that it left gray, but for some reason it converted this whole area from gray to white. I don't know why. But again, they haven't perfected it yet. They're working on it. So now pictures came through fine. But for some reason they converted this area to white instead of the gray it was. I don't know.
But the other grays are still gray.
Yeah, this gray's, yeah,
It's degree of grayness.
yeah, because it was a variable grayscale type picture. So you're going to run into that because again, it's free. They're still experimenting with it.